Hey guys, what's up? I'm Ninji, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Season of the Chosen PvE meta. So now, we've been in this season for, I don't know, 7 weeks or something? I think we're on week 7, if I remember correctly. And so we've had some time to see if the meta has shifted, you know, see if we've introduced any new weapons, so on and so forth. So I thought I would make this video to discuss that very specific topic. So as you can see right off the bat, you know, I am using the Igloo sub, I am using the Raid shotgun, which is Heritage, and I am using Lament. In my opinion, this is the meta. Again, there are several weapons in the meta. This is just the ones that I'm using currently right now. But yeah, so I would say if I had to go off of just, you know, categories, talk about specific weapons or weapon archetypes and stuff like that. Right off the bat, you know, slug shotguns, very, very strong. Slug shotguns are definitely the best special weapons in the game currently. So slugs are definitely the special meta. Primary ammo, kinetic or energy, doesn't matter. Subs, you know, this is still not changed. We have not had any significant changes to any of the primary ammo weapon types in the game. So yeah, so I can pause for a second and take a look at some subs and some shotguns. But you know, so slug shotguns, Heritage, very, very good. First in, last out, very, very good. You know, there are certain roles that are better than others. There's other slugs as well. They brought back the slug shotgun from Shadowkeep, so you can farm that in Altars of Sorrow. So yeah, those are some slugs. Submachine guns. Again, Iklos is definitely the best submachine gun for a very specific reason. The archetype that it is very good, but that's about it. The perk combinations and stuff are not great, but because it is a Warmind weapon, you can use Warmind cells with this submachine gun specifically, and it just makes it superior to any other sub. But as you can see in my inventory, I had some other subs. Really, really good subs. We had one added last season in the Dawning, or like re-added, I guess we should say. And then this season we have, you know, the Extraordinary Rendition, which is phenomenal. So again, if you don't have a good Iklos or you just don't want to use it anymore, there are other submachine guns. Again, I'll look at my inventory, but there's a bunch of primary ones. Again, Extraordinary Rendition, Cold Front, very, very good. Iklos is really the only energy I would recommend, but there are others. You can use the one from Prophecy. That's okay, but it has, again, terrible perks and stuff like that. But outside of subs, I would definitely say subs are the meta. Definitely the best weapons. But I would say a close second would be 720 auto rifles. So Arctic Haze, Reckless Oracle, very, very good. They have huge magazines. You can see both of mine have 69 bullets in the mag. So they have huge magazines, and they just do good damage for what they are. I would definitely say that they're number 2. I would say hand cannons, pulse rifles, and scouts just currently are not in the meta. They just don't feel very good. It's not that you can't use them and get away with using them. They just don't feel great. You know, throughout Destiny history, hand cannons have always one-shotted red bars. Now it's minimum 2-shot. There's not a single hand cannon in this game that can one-shot red bars, which is really unfortunate. And then let's move on to the heavy slot. So again, you know, last season, Lament was very, very good. Definitely in the meta. It still is. Sword's got an overall nerf coming into the season, and it definitely natively affected legendary swords, like Fallen Guillotine. Fallen Guillotine is nowhere near as good as it once was. But Lament is still very, very strong. Obviously, it's a little bit weaker than what it once was, but still very, very good. So I definitely think Lament is one of the most powerful weapons currently in the game. And the reason why I would say it's you know, meta is because it has a lot going for it. You know, in endgame content, you still have the same raid, and in that raid, Lament is very good. In other endgame content, it is unique. the kind of sword that it is very unique. Basically, you know, you can get hits, or you can get health with repeated hits and stuff like that, which makes it very, very unique. So it prevents, you know, like getting one-shotted when you're getting pushed away from the boss and stuff like that. And then another thing this season is we have, you know, a mod in the artifact called Passive Guard, which allows you to, again, when you have a sword equipped, tank an insane amount of damage. So, yeah. Lament, very, very good. And then next up, we're gonna have a few heavies to talk about. But we have Anarchy. Anarchy is still very much the meta. You know, nothing was changed. It wasn't nerfed or anything, so it's definitely still a huge part of the meta. But we finally got a new addition. So Rockets got a buff. Was it a huge buff? Not really, but it was enough to push them into the meta to a certain extent. Again, they're still not great, especially by themselves. They're kind of like Anarchy. They've kind of become like similar to Anarchy, where they are good paired with a very specific weapon in Izanagi's Burden. So Izanagi's Burden, definitely a meta. Definitely the meta if you want to put this on. So I'm going to put it on right now and talk about how this is meta. So again, like I said, rockets by themselves, still not very good. Taking a rocket and expecting that to be big boy damage, it's not going to be big boy damage. Not going to be melting bosses with rockets by themselves. They're still they're just too weak, and it takes way too long to shoot all their shots. But, like I said, paired with Izanagi's, they're very, very good. That's because Izanagi's does massive damage, and while you're reloading your Izanagi's, you can swap to your rocket, get some shots off, get a shot off, switch back to Izanagi's, and the timing just ends up working perfectly. Well, see, I missed right there, and it didn't really matter because that guy's too weak to demonstrate. But that's exactly what you would do. Now, again, not all rockets can do this. It's a very specific thing that you need to have on your rocket. You have to have autoloading, right? This is not new, by the way. This is a previous meta with grenade launchers, which is still meta if you have grenade launchers with autoloading. This is just something that's new that's replaced it. Plus, they added a new perk called Lasting Impression. It's very, very good and pairs very, very well with Izanagi's Burden. So, take a second to show you what I'm talking about. So this is my God roll code Duella. That's autoloading, lasting impression, and high impact casing. So this thing is perfect, and this is something that you can pair perfectly with Izanagi's Burden. Before, I would be using my interference, which again, also a God roll, like autoloading full court. So I can still use this, and it would be very, very similar. But yeah, so this is basically just a new updated version of the same concept. So hopefully I can get to the boss here in a second and demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about, but for the most part, you guys should understand what I mean. So we've pretty much showed off everything that I would deem the meta currently. Obviously, there are other weapons that you can use. There are other good weapons. These are just the best in slot, the best tier, the most efficient. I'm still hoping for some changes, some buffs next season, some major buffs. Really in the primary category. I don't know about you guys, but I am personally extremely bored with with submachine guns. I want hand cannons to be meta again. It's been like how long has it been? Almost 2 years since hand cannons were in the PvE meta. All right, so here's the Izanagi's trick, or whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, we have this stupid thing. But, yeah, so you just shoot your rocket, shoot your Izzy shot. It's that simple. This idiot's getting immune, so it's not actually doing damage. But, yeah, this is how you do the, this is how you make rockets good. Now, again, by themselves, they're not that strong. They're strong with Izanagi's. But, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But before I end this video, again, I would like to talk about some things that I would like to see in the future of Destiny. Sandbox updates wise. Like I said, hand cannons, it would be really nice for hand cannons to go back to being strong and powerful. Just in damage, just in PvE damage, just making it so they can run shot red bars again. Scout rifles, would love to see them get some buffs because they're awful. Especially with, with Vault of Glass coming back scout rifles and hand cannons should be good because of Vision and Confluence and Fatebringer. So that is definitely 2 sandbox updates I would like to see. I would still like to see a rocket launcher buff. I don't think that the rocket buff we got was very good. I still think it was very meh. If anything, it didn't really do anything. It's just the kind of rockets we got with the new perks, like Lasting Impression. That was good. But if you're asking specifically, we need multiple rockets in the chamber. Having one is just awful for DPS. So yeah, and then last but not least, there's many things I could talk about. It's legendary sniper buffs, stuff like that. But the biggest thing that I want to see outside of the rocket change and the hand cannon thing and the scout thing is linear fusion rifles. Linear fusion rifles need to be meta once. They have never been meta. They've never been close to meta. They've always been at the bottom. Would love to see massive damage increases to those. And yeah, because we just need more legendary heavies. There's basically no good legendary heavies in the game. We're forced to always use, you know, exotics in the heavy slot. But yeah, anyways, that is it for this video. I rambled on for a bit, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you guys later. Peace.